September 1944, France. Imagine a heavily armed fortress, concrete bunkers, machine gun nests, minefields, and over 800 battle-hardened enemy soldiers. Now imagine capturing all of it without firing a single shot. Sounds impossible? In the brutal final days of the battle for Brest, one small group of American Rangers did exactly that, with nothing but audacious courage and a single well-placed bluff. By September 1944, the Allies had swept through France after D-Day, but one critical objective remained a stubborn thorn in their side: the port city of Brest. Declared a fortress by Hitler, Brest was defended by a determined German garrison, including crack paratroopers and naval infantry, under General Hermann Bernhard Ramke. The fighting for Brest was a grinder, street to street, bunker to bunker. Every inch was contested. To supply the Allied armies pushing towards Germany, Brest's deep water port was indispensable, and it had to be taken. Among the most formidable obstacles guarding the city was the Lochrist Battery, also known as the Graf Spee Battery. A formidable coastal defense, it boasted 4 massive 280mm naval guns, capable of firing shells almost 30 kilometers. It was a concrete behemoth, bristling with machine guns, snipers, and surrounded by treacherous minefields, a position seemingly impregnable. Enter the U.S. Army Rangers. Elite, highly trained, and accustomed to daring missions, they were at the forefront of the assault on Brest. Their motto, "Rangers lead the way." It was a motto not just for their officers, but for every single man in their ranks. Among them was First Lieutenant Robert T. Edlin of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. His current mission was reconnaissance, to scout the German defenses surrounding the Lochrist Battery, assess its strengths, and find any potential weaknesses. But he wasn't alone. Alongside him were 3 other unsung Rangers, vital members of his patrol, each one a testament to the courage and initiative that defined their unit. They were men hardened by combat, bound by the Ranger creed, and ready for whatever lay ahead. It was a dangerous assignment, even for Rangers, as the Germans were dug in deep, expecting a frontal assault. Edlin, along with his 3 comrades, crept through the dense undergrowth, approaching the heavily fortified perimeter. The battery was a maze of concrete, barbed wire, and most critically, carefully laid minefields. As they cautiously surveyed the defenses, one of the Rangers noticed something extraordinary: a narrow, almost imperceptible path winding through the minefield, leading directly towards a pillbox. It was an almost suicidal route, a forgotten access point, or perhaps a path the Germans used themselves, now left unguarded. Most would have marked it, reported it, and fallen back. But not these Rangers. In a moment of audacious decision, defying all conventional military wisdom, one Ranger, then the others, without hesitation or a second thought, decided to take that path. Their goal shifted from observation to something far more daring: direct infiltration. This wasn't just Edlin's idea. It was a collective leap of faith, born of Ranger training and shared courage. Their mission was now to penetrate the heart of the enemy stronghold. Moving with silent precision, the 4 Rangers slipped through the deadly minefield. They reached the pillbox undetected. In a swift, brutal moment, they burst inside, surprising the 20 German soldiers manning the position. The Germans, caught completely off guard, quickly surrendered. They were more accustomed to fierce, drawn-out battles, not 4 men appearing from nowhere, as if from thin air. Among the captured Germans was an officer, fluent in English. This was a critical turn of events. Lieutenant Edlin, thinking quickly, saw his chance. He seized the German officer and, with an air of absolute authority, demanded to be taken to the battery's commanding officer. His 3 fellow Rangers held the now captured pillbox, securing their foothold and providing vital backup, ready to react if the bluff failed. The bluff had begun. 4 men deep behind enemy lines, holding a handful of prisoners, were now demanding to speak to the commander of 800. Guided by their unwilling German escort, Edlin and his small team made their way through the labyrinthine passages of the battery. They were on the verge of the impossible. While Edlin confronted first, his 3 Rangers maintained their positions, subtly indicating to the German officer that this was no lone effort, but part of a larger, unseen force. Finally, they stood before the office of Lieutenant Colonel First, the battery commander. First, surprised by the sudden intrusion, initially refused to believe what he was seeing. 4 American Rangers? Demanding his surrender? He dismissed it as a preposterous bluff, perhaps a handful of desperate stragglers. He likely assumed there were no other American forces close enough to pose a real threat. But Edlin was not bluffing. With a chilling calm, he pulled the pin from a hand grenade, concealed it from direct view, and pressed the live grenade against Colonel First's chest. He began to count, slowly. 1, 2. Before Edlin could reach 3, the defiance drained from First's face. The reality of the situation, the proximity of death, was undeniable. The bluff, backed by unwavering resolve, had worked. Lieutenant Colonel First immediately ordered the surrender of the entire Lochrist Battery. Over the battery's loudspeaker system, his voice crackled, ordering all 850 German soldiers to lay down their arms and march out to be taken prisoner. One of the most heavily fortified positions in Brest had fallen, not to a hail of bullets and shells, but to the sheer audacity of 4 men and a single grenade. The remaining 2nd Ranger Battalion, approaching the battery from the outside, were met with the incredible sight of hundreds of German soldiers marching out to surrender, utterly dumbfounded by how quickly and bloodlessly this seemingly impregnable fortress had fallen. The capture of the Lochrist Battery was a pivotal moment in the Battle of Brest. Lieutenant Robert T. Edlin was later awarded the Bronze Star, which was ultimately upgraded to the Distinguished Service Cross, for his incredible bravery and tactical genius. But let us also remember the 3 unnamed Rangers who stood by his side, who willingly followed him into the heart of an enemy stronghold, and whose own courage and disciplined execution were just as vital to the success of this impossible mission. Their actions and Edlin's stand as a testament to the fact that in warfare, sometimes the greatest weapon isn't a cannon or a rifle, but sheer unadulterated courage and the unwavering belief in the power of an audacious bluff. The immediate capture of the Lochrist Battery, achieved without a single shot fired, was a triumph that dramatically sped up the Allied push into Brest. It swept away a colossal obstacle that would have otherwise demanded a high price in American lives and precious time during the brutal urban combat. While the larger Battle of Brest was undeniably a tough fight, Edlin's incredibly bold move was a pivotal moment, swiftly dismantling formidable German defenses and silencing powerful coastal guns. Beyond that, this dramatic event became a shining symbol of Ranger ingenuity and unwavering courage, powerfully demonstrating that brilliant strategy, audacious initiative, and calculated risks could achieve what even overwhelming force sometimes found impossible. It stands as an enduring testament to the limitless individual bravery that, when combined with flawless execution, truly could turn the tide of even the most fiercely contested battles, contributing directly to the Allied drive toward victory. What other incredible untold stories from history would you like to explore? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Episodes of History for more untold tales from the past.